trust your Sunday has come along very well. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. And we welcome Olive back.
Yes,
Karibu
the dynamic duo is back together.
From your globe-trotting, your adventures, your escapades.
Let's just say adventures.
Karibu sana. We have plenty of stories that we've covered for you, news, sports especially. But right after, we look at these highlights.
Tonight, governors allege a plot against devolution.
President and his deputy are against devolution in this country.
Division of Revenue stalemate persists.
And ODM leader in DP's backyard.
Atiye pesa yuko save. Hii ambayo nilipo toni bilioni 7 peke yake. Bilioni 7 sio peke yake. Bilioni 7 ni pesa mingi zaidi.
Raila questions source of funds donated to churches.
Plus, fight for legality.
Homeschooling petition is not a move against the government.
Homeschooling parents battle for recognition.
And in our special tonight,
mama amekuwa mnyonge akiumana kwa siku 3, mtoto naye kuzaliwa hakuweza kuishi.
Men in Samburu rising above culture, now warriors of maternal health.
NTV Weekend Edition with Dennis Okari and Olive Burrows.
Womb Warriors promises to be a captivating story by Eunice Omolo coming up in a few minutes. But from midnight, the 2019-2020 financial year starts and the governors are concerned about the state of their finances. The county heads now say the blatant disregard of their needs in the scrutiny and passage of the Division of Revenue Bill by the National Assembly is a calculated move by the executive in their wider scheme of killing devolution.
Speaking in separate functions, the governors say counties will be crippled as the only funds they will access can only pay salaries. They now want a referendum to ensure that 45% of the budget is set aside for counties. But we'll have that story much later on. But still on fiscal matters, more than 3.5 million Kenyans filed their tax returns for the previous financial year that ends at midnight. According to the Kenya Revenue Authority, this is an increase compared to last year's tally, where about 3.15 million taxpayers filed their returns.
KRA opened its doors throughout the weekend to ensure those rushing to beat the deadline did not encounter challenges such as congestion of the system. At the headquarters, the queues were relatively short.
To politics now, NASA leader Raila Odinga has reignited the Aurora and Kimwarer dams scandal, in which at least some 21 billion shillings was allegedly misappropriated. The
ODM leader challenged the deputy president's assertion that only 7 billion shillings meant for the projects in Elgeyo Marakwet County was lost. He also challenged politicians who frequently make hefty donations to churches to declare the source of the money.
Raila claims the money lost through grafts often finds its way to churches, robbing Kenyans the chance to fund legitimate projects.
Opposition leader Raila Odinga launched the latest attack on graft while visiting Deputy President William Ruto's North Rift backyard in Elgeyo Marakwet, the venue of what is one of the biggest scandals to hit the government in recent times, the Aurora and Kimwarer dams scandals.
20 imeshalipwa na hata jembe chakanyaga ardhi. Umelipa bilioni 20.
Raila hit out at those who he says are responsible for the plunder of public funds that would have transformed the county.
Atiye pesa yuko save. Hii ambayo nilipo toni bilioni 7 peke yake. Bilioni 7 sio peke yake. Bilioni 7 ni pesa mingi zaidi. Bilioni 1 ni milioni 1,000. Na ikiwa kama ni 1,000 mara 7, hiyo ni pesa kidogo.
The former Prime Minister says the dam projects were mooted during the coalition government's tenure but have since been abused by crooked individuals, thus derailing the development agenda. He took a swipe at those who, he says, are channeling the stolen funds to churches.
Ukienda kanisani Jumapili, sema ukweli. Hapana aenda tu kanisa umebeba pesa kwa gunia, ati unasaidia Mungu kwa kanisa. Hapana. Nenda pale sema ukweli. Anza kwa kutubu dhambi zako. alafu ndio tupeane sadaka yako kwa kanisa.
While he was hitting out on the dams scandal, his former deputy party leader, Turkana Governor Josephat Nanok, was defending those who give donations in church.
We donate when politicians donate, when your leaders donate, when Christians donate and give back to the church. It is giving back to God and it is obeying our Kenyan constitution.
Besides the dam scandal, the opposition leader says the handshake with President Uhuru Kenyatta was on course to unite Kenyans.
Ndani ya mto Jordan kuna mamba, tujenge daraja ili tuvuka naye tuingie wapi? Tuingie wapi? Na ndugu yetu pia Deputy President, tunaomba sisi sote twende Canaan kama nchi moja.
Tulikubaliana kama viongozi wa taifa la Kenya vile Mathayo 5:9 inasema heri wapatanishi kwa sababu ndio watakaoitwa wana wa Mungu.
Brenda Wanga, NTV.
Staying with politics, a cross-section of political leaders now want President Uhuru Kenyatta to reconstitute the cabinet.
The leaders accuse some cabinet secretaries of openly disrespecting the presidency by engaging in politics instead of focusing on service delivery.
Political commentators are also warning that the fallout between the president and his deputy, William Ruto, should be handled delicately.
Divisions in cabinet can no longer be kept hidden.
Hatuwezi kukubali kuwa na makatibu na mawaziri katika serikali ya Uhuru Kenyatta ambao wengine wameanza kuigawanya eti kuna wale wa naibu rais na kuna wale wa rais.
Wajue tumeona wengi before them, many have come and gone, many sycophants and others have come and gone. And Kenya still stands. So even after them, tutaendelea tu na itakuwa sawa.
Lazima ukae chini uite kikao ya mawaziri na waonye waheshimu naibu ya rais William Samuel.
A section of politicians alleged that the fight against corruption was not objective before an alleged assassination plot against DP Ruto exposed the divisions in cabinet.
It intended to portray us in a very bad light so that we look like criminals who meet to plot criminal activities against him. And it's also intended to injure our reputation.
I can assure you, whoever is through my way, I will face them with a lot of determination, courage, and patience.
The Cabinet Implementation Committee under Interior CS Fred Matiang'i sits on Tuesdays. The first meeting was attended by 17 cabinet secretaries, including Attorney General Paul Kihara and Head of Public Service Joseph Kinua. However, some cabinet secretaries allied to the DP have reportedly been intentionally skipping the meetings.
Hawa mawaziri kama wanaingilia siasa, futa wote waende nyumbani.
A situation like this calls for reconstitution of government. This is not a situation that can obtain, that you have cabinet behaving the way they are behaving now.
This side does something and it stretches, and the other side also does something and it stretches, and it will burst. I do not think right now it's possible to put it back in place.
The current wave of controversy bedeviling government once again falls on the president's table with renewed calls to fire a number of CSs.
Kenyatta does not seem to have the courage. You've seen him in the past send certain signals which even make you guys in the media begin to anticipate and speculate, and suddenly he walks back.
Last Thursday's scheduled cabinet meeting did not take place, with various cabinet secretaries and the deputy president spotted presiding over various functions across the country. It is also not clear as to whether the deputy president's assassination claim will be discussed in cabinet if it meets this week. Seth Olale, NTV, Nairobi County.
Staying with another division, and this time as concerns the Division of Revenue. From midnight, the 2019-2020 financial year starts, and the governors are concerned about the state of their finances. The county heads now say the blatant disregard of their needs in the scrutiny and passage of the Division of Revenue bill by the National Assembly is a calculated move by the executive in their wider scheme of killing devolution.
Speaking in separate functions, the governors say counties will be crippled as the only funds they will access can only pay salaries. They now want a referendum to ensure that 45% of the budget is set aside for counties.
Negotiations to unlock a stalemate between the national and county governments over how much should be set aside for counties in the 2019-2020 financial year, spearheaded by Deputy President William Ruto, seems to have hit a snag, going by sentiments coming from governors. Governors speaking in different functions over the weekend accused government functionaries of attempts to kill devolution instead of strengthening it.
That it seems the president and his deputy are against devolution in this country. What is happening now is what happened way back in 1966, when the national government then came out very strongly and killed the Senate and killed Majimbo in this country.
The Ministry of Health has 47 billion, which is equivalent to 9 counties. And that ministry is supposed to be fully devolved. So as much as really we are discussing these things, I think we've got to realize that Kenyans are watching.
For about 6 months now, under the Intergovernmental Budget and Economic Council meetings, chaired by Deputy President William Ruto, governors have been trying to push for a share that would accommodate development funds to counties, but they have not been able to find a solution. The new financial year starts Monday, 1st July, and there is no solution in sight.
They must respect the Constitution 2010 that allowed the development of counties in this country. Sisi tunasema wasipokubali, we are going straight to Supreme Court so that we can discuss these issues and allow the Supreme Court to make a decision on how much money needs to go to the counties.
And if there is one thing which will make me support personally, is a formula sharing formula, which is anchored in constitution. It's not constitutional. The same how you can negotiate when you're selling or buying bananas. I mean, our development need to be anchored. They need to be anchored.
Parliament fails to reach a consensus on how much the share of revenue should be counties and the national government. The National Assembly limited the issue in 316 billion. While the Senate is stuck at 307 billion shillings. Sources tell and governors will be meeting this week and critically look at the